Good morning, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest, and today we're going to talk about the current state of War Divisions. Should you be playing it? Is it worth your time to return? And what are we expecting in the immediate future? Let's go ahead and dig in. So, if you've left War Divisions in any time over the course of the last 6 months, particularly because of trust stones, and you're wondering, is now a good time to come back? Christmas is around the corner, Black Friday just happened, maybe there's going to be really good login rewards, right? These might be all things going through your head, and you might just be asking, is now a good time to come back? Or is now a good time to potentially start the game? I will say, I think War Divisions right now is very friendly towards newer players. I think particularly from a free-to-play aspect, War Divisions can be much more enjoyable now than it was years ago. For the most part, though, I would say you're probably going to get more of the same if you are a returning player. We've seen things happen, such as adjustments to the Trust Stone system. The adjustments to the Trust Stone system have actually been really good. There's been some really good changes to it. It definitely has made it more easier, more accessible, but it's still a cluster. It's still something that is a pain in the ass that really is not an enjoyable interacting system. Now, if you're wondering if any other systems have really been implemented as well, in addition to that, nothing really has been implemented. Nothing really has changed over the course of the last 6 months that would make the game substantially feel different or substantially offer a better experience. And I think that's the key word here, because as we continue to play the game and as the game continues to evolve, we seem to keep running into things that keep offering either an equivalent experience or tend to hinder the experience, like the implementation of trust runes. So whether it's trust runes implementation, whether it's the implementation of the Addison Ray collaboration, where a lot of players were upset with that and kind of voiced their frustration, it seems like the current state of War Divisions is one where it is taking one misstep after another. There is some really good things that have been going on, but most of that has been around unit releases, global exclusives, and unit balancing, such as job changes, class changes, things that are kind of done in the background, secondary mastery abilities, where maybe you had a favorite unit like Sir O, right? And that unit can now be more useful. You can utilize this unit in, some PvE content to a lesser degree, right? But that's still not going to make that unit extremely relevant, perhaps with the exception of like Skahal, when that update comes out here in a couple of months. But it hasn't revolutionized the game. It hasn't completely changed the game. And it does feel like War Divisions is actively taking a few steps backwards as we are going. It is pretty exciting to have, for example, a Shadowlings unit finally releasing, which I think a lot of people are really hyped for. But simultaneously, that comes with the Addison Ray unit, which is a very clear sort of grab in terms of just trying to, take a shovel, jam it into millions of people, scoop out as many as you can to play the game, and then throw them behind you, right? Like, that's literally what they're essentially doing to the Addison Ray followers. They're trying to harvest as many new players in the game through expensive collaborations like this, as opposed to actively changing, adjusting their game, making it more accessible, or doing things that would make sense, such as a PC client. Now, we, for the first time, have actually had word of the PC client, which is very exciting. It's very exciting to hear that they're working on a PC client for War of Divisions, particularly with the stability issues that War of Divisions notoriously has had over the years. However, if you think a PC client is immediately going to save War Divisions, I think you would be sorely mistaken. I think there has been a lot of damage done to the War Division player base and community over the course of the last year and a half, 2 years, where it's really kind of the damage has already been done. You look at the Brave Exvius community very similarly, right? And you look at just the beatings that that community has taken as well. And it's really kind of surprising that either of these games are currently functioning or popular right now. It's really quite remarkable, I would say. Thankfully, War of the Visions doesn't have it nearly as bad as Brave Exvius, but man, if you're in Brave Exvius, I feel for you guys. So, is it worth it to come back? I mean, you're going to come back. The story's good. You're going to play through the story. You're going to enjoy it. But I think right now, with the current state of the game, it's not worth the investment of your time. I find myself struggling even to just log in and do my dailies sometimes, because really the only thing this game has to offer right now is a form of competitive PvP. And even then, competitive PvP is rather stale. It's one of those things where, you know, it might be exciting for the first year you do it or the first 2 years, but without variation in game modes, without different types of PvP situations, sure, you have different maps, you have different class match situations, that adds a little bit of variety to it, but it's not enough to garner that attention or to rekindle kind of the spirit of what War of the Visions was in the beginning. For that, you would need an entire overhaul of the company's approach to the game. You would need new content to the game that even, you know, up to the JP point right now, we don't see in the JP. And the PC client, even though they're saying they're working on it, we have no idea if it's going to be coming anytime in the next year. We've been given absolutely no timeline for it. You stack onto this the way that potentially the Southeast Asian community has been treated in War of the Visions. You look at kind of how the global community is somewhat marginalized, and you'll understand that War of the Visions right now is less of a problem of it being a bad game, but more of a game that's being poorly managed. And it has been that way probably for the last 6 months to a year. You can see some of the changes that the game has tried to implement to kind of impact these decisions, but it continues to happen. And I think this is the trend of most gacha games. I think most gacha games head down this route eventually. It is a little bit sad for me because I do love War of the Visions, but I'm also seeing, you know, the game kind of struggle and limp along right now, supported by bad decisions left and right. So that's the current state of the game. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day.